Young and Restless 2-week spoilers October 27th to November 7th. Kane's urgent warning and Sharon's perilous peril. Monday, October 27th, we've got Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, meeting with Kane, and she hopes that he is going to hand her the AI program because she wants it destroyed. But Kane has to tell her that somebody stole it, either Victor Newman, Eric Braden, or Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. He worries that Victor has it and will target Jabot, and he'll somehow be blamed. But he also says Phyllis is a likely candidate as well because she was really worked up because he wouldn't use it for chaos. Lily blames him for even telling people he had it. Kane promises that he will fix this, get the AI back, and then he and Lily can destroy it. She tells Kane they need to jump on this because whoever took it is probably going to use it ASAP before anybody has a chance to shore up their defenses. Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, and Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, are talking about Connor Newman, Judah Mackey. They're at the GCAC. Kane interrupts them asking for Victor, who hasn't returned his calls or messages. Adam doesn't think his dad should bother with Kane and tells the guy he should just leave town because he's got nothing in Genoa City and says they're going to keep running hit pieces on him. But Kane reminds Adam that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, ran hit pieces on Adam years ago and he's still stuck around. So why would Kane do different? Forbidden romances and family worries. Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, is hungover and his parents Phyllis and Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, are teasing him. But when Daniel says he was boozing with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, well, that has Phyllis worried. She thinks that Daniel may get hurt because this is a married woman who loves her wife. Tessa has a steamy dream about hooking up with Daniel, but in the dream, the cops interrupt them. They're at the door because they need to arrest Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. Tessa wakes up from this weird dream, also pretty hungover, and she calls Daniel and invites him to come have breakfast with her in her suite at the GCAC. He bails on his parents and heads over to see her. Tessa and Daniel discuss their drunken kiss, and he wasn't even that tipsy. But he got tipsy later, though. When Daniel says it can't go further because she's married to Mariah, we'll see Tessa saying that she thinks her marriage might be over. That sounds like she is giving him at least a yellow flag, if not a green flag, to proceed. Young and the Restless spoilers. Danny worried about Phyllis. Once she's alone with Danny, we've got Phyllis insulting Christine Cricket Blair, Laura Lee Bell, and telling Danny that his life with the bug will be dull. And he tells Phyllis, stop attacking and find a man of her own to make her happy. But Phyllis doesn't want a guy bossing her around. However, Danny thinks that Phyllis needs someone policing her, so she will stop making mistakes. Danny has plenty to say about that. Then Phyllis gets a text from Victor saying, okay, I'll meet with you. Come to the ranch. Danny's peeking over her shoulder and sees that Phyllis is texting with Victor. And Danny is very worried that Phyllis is out getting herself into trouble as usual. And as usual, Danny is completely correct about this. Dangerous deals and shocking confrontations. Tuesday, October 28th, Victor makes a surprising deal. Phyllis goes over to the ranch and tells him that she stole Tucker's AI, and she basically wants Victor to make her an offer if he wants to use the AI program. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, gets a cryptic message, and it may be from Kane. Because this week, Jack finds out from Kane that there is a serious potential threat to Jabot. And I think he's going to tell him that the AI is gone, that somebody has stolen it. And I do think he's going to say that he thinks it's either Phyllis or Victor. Also, Adam pushes Billy to the point of violence on Tuesday. Adam's running his mouth as usual. Billy snaps and punches Adam hard. So hard he collapses onto the floor. It's brutal. Chelsea watches in the lobby of the GCAC. And this may be a headline moment. Young and the Restless spoilers. Nikki and Vicky head to LA. Wednesday, October 29th, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, leave Genoa City and they jet to LA to be there to support Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and check on Noah Newman, Lucas Adams. And I'm sure they're going to check on Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, as well. Billy is really irritating Phyllis this week. Looks like he shows up and interrupts a meeting that she's in at the GCAC. It could be with Victor. I wonder if Billy is going to say something about the fight with Adam. And I wonder if Victor is going to threaten that they'll press charges. Uncovering secrets and protecting legacies. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, corners Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, with questions at her club in LA. He really wants dirt on Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, to try and split up him and Claire, but she's not going to give that to him. However, Sienna did tell him she would give him some dirt on Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, and it looks like she may deliver. Phyllis is busy protecting her interests, and it looks like this is about her stolen AI scheme. Thursday, October 30th is the first day of November sweeps. We've got Michael Baldwin, Christian Jules LeBlanc, getting a second chance from Victor. He may want Michael back to use as a fixer while he's planning to use the AI that he got from Phyllis, presuming they make a deal, but I doubt Michael would approve of that. Billy and Phyllis are swapping info on Thursday, and Jack is going all out to protect Jabot and the Abbotts, likely from Victor and the AI software. I wonder if Jack will confront both Phyllis and Victor. November sweeps kick off with danger and drama. Friday, October 31st. Sharon is going down a dangerous path looking for answers about Noah's crash. And by the way, Sienna, her husband Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, and Noah are all going to be back in Genoa City by Thanksgiving at the latest. There's some behind-the-scenes photo showing Noah and Sienna in crimson lights, and all the Christmas decorations are up. Holden sees a new aspect of Claire on Young and the Restless. I'm wondering if she's going to get wild for Halloween in Los Angeles. And Kyle goes to great lengths for Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell. So, I wonder if Kyle is going to hop on a plane and go back to Genoa City so that he can take Harrison trick-or-treating because the kid has scenes on Friday. Also, Roger Howarth has scenes soon. He will be debuting as Mitch Bacall, the husband of Sienna Bacall, the Shadow Lounge manager, who is a friend of Holden's and also knows Noah, but we don't have an air date yet. Young and the Restless spoilers. November 3rd through 7th. November 3rd through the 7th is the first full week of November sweeps. We've got Kyle back from LA. He may be back in Genoa City with some serious dirt that he dug up on Audra. Meanwhile, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, relying on Audra to help her run their company, even more so with Billy unhinged. But I wonder if what Kyle finds out about Audra is going to put all this at risk. Nick and Sharon keep chasing leads on Noah's car crash in LA, but the danger to both of them escalates. Nikki and Victoria are there to help, but the family is soon going to be bringing Noah back to Genoa City to fully recuperate back home. Phyllis should know by now she can't trust Victor. Was on edge, as tension wove itself into the lives of its residents in ways that seemed unstoppable. This week on The Young and the Restless, viewers are witnessing a whirlwind of fear, urgency, and emotional chaos, centering around two familiar faces: Kane Ashby and Sharon Newman. What began as a typical day in the Ashby household quickly spiraled into one of the most suspense-filled storylines in recent memory, leaving fans on the edge of their seats. It all began with Kane Ashby, who, in a rare moment of vulnerability, confided in Victoria Newman about a looming threat that could shake Genoa City to its core. Kane, whose calm and calculating demeanor usually masked his emotions, was uncharacteristically anxious. He had discovered evidence that someone was targeting Sharon, a threat that was neither random nor insignificant. His warning was urgent and insistent, leaving Victoria alarmed not just for Sharon, but for Kane himself, whose protective instincts were now in overdrive. "Victoria, you don't understand," Kane said, pacing his office at Newman Enterprises. "This isn't just another one of Genoa City's petty vendettas. Sharon's life could be in real danger. I've seen the patterns, the threats. They're escalating." Victoria, ever the mediator and voice of reason, tried to soothe him. "Kane, you're letting your worry take over. We need proof before we act." But Kane's gut told him otherwise. There was something more sinister at play, someone who knew Sharon's routines, her vulnerabilities, even the people she trusted most. Kane had learned from personal experience that in Genoa City, danger was rarely a bluff. He had survived corporate schemes, kidnappings, and betrayals, but this felt different. The threat wasn't just about money, power, or revenge, it was personal. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman, blissfully unaware of the storm approaching her, was juggling her own personal struggles. Torn between family responsibilities and the lingering ghosts of her past, Sharon's focus was elsewhere. She had just returned from a therapy session, hoping to rebuild her life after recent betrayals, and had no inkling that her life was about to take a perilous turn. Kane's warning became more urgent when he received an anonymous tip about suspicious activity near Sharon's apartment. Security footage, when he finally got a chance to review it, revealed a shadowy figure loitering near Sharon's building late at night. The figure vanished before anyone could identify them, but Kane knew enough. The threat was real, and Sharon was in imminent danger. Kane immediately tried to reach Sharon by phone, but she was unreachable. Panic surged through him as he imagined the worst-case scenarios. Without hesitation, he rushed to her apartment, heart pounding, mind racing with every possible outcome. His fear wasn't just for Sharon. It was for the life they could have lost together, the fragile happiness they were finally starting to reclaim. When Kane arrived, he noticed the door slightly ajar. His instincts screamed danger, and he cautiously entered, calling out Sharon's name. The apartment was eerily quiet, save for the faint sound of the TV left on. As he moved further inside, he discovered signs of a struggle: papers scattered, a lamp overturned, and the unmistakable scent of someone else's presence lingering in the air. "Sharon!" Kane shouted, fear cracking his usually composed voice. Suddenly, a noise from the bedroom made him freeze. He drew a deep breath and moved toward the source, adrenaline fueling his every step. There, in the shadow of the doorway, stood Sharon, alive but visibly shaken. She had been home, confronted by an intruder who had fled before causing serious harm, leaving her terrified and alone. Kane pulled her into a protective embrace. "You're okay. You're okay," he repeated, trying to calm her trembling body. Sharon clung to him, tears streaming down her face, the weight of the terrifying experience finally settling in. I didn't know what to do," she whispered, voice cracking. I thought I might not make it." Kane's resolve hardened. "You're safe now, Sharon. I promise you, I won't let anything happen to you. Not ever." But even as Kane reassured Sharon, the threat was far from over. The mysterious figure had left behind clues, cryptic signs that Kane knew couldn't be ignored. A note, hastily scribbled on the corner of a discarded envelope, read, "This is only the beginning. Watch closely, or you'll lose everything." The message, chilling in its simplicity, made Kane realize the danger wasn't just to Sharon, it extended to everyone she loved. The perpetrator had plans, and they were methodical, calculating, and ruthless. Kane's protective instincts kicked into overdrive as he began devising a plan to keep Sharon safe. He enlisted the help of Victoria, Nate, and even Nick Newman, pooling resources and contacts to uncover the identity of the threat. Each step brought new revelations: connections to past enemies, old rivalries reigniting, and hidden grudges resurfacing. Every clue Kane uncovered painted a picture of a mastermind with deep knowledge of Sharon's life, a puppet master ready to pull strings that could destroy everything. Sharon, meanwhile, wrestled with her own feelings of fear and frustration. She hated feeling powerless, hated the way terror had invaded her safe space. But she also realized that Kane's presence, his unwavering commitment to protect her, was a source of strength she hadn't expected. As the danger escalated, Sharon's bond with Kane deepened, built on trust, love, and shared survival. In one particularly tense moment, the intruder made a bold move, breaking into the Newman mansion during a gala. Sharon, attending as a guest, was caught off guard. Kane, alerted by security, raced through the crowd, determined not to let history repeat itself. The chaos that ensued was a testament to the stakes at hand. Genoa City had never seen danger so immediate, so personal. By the end of the episode, Kane and Sharon found themselves in a precarious situation, trapped, yet united against a common enemy. The city around them was oblivious to the silent war unfolding behind closed doors, and viewers were left breathless, waiting for answers. Who was behind the threats? What did they want from Sharon? And how far would Kane go to ensure her safety? The Young and the Restless has always excelled at blending emotional drama with suspense, and this storyline is no exception. Kane's urgent warning and Sharon's perilous peril combine high-stakes tension with heartfelt character moments, reminding fans why they've remained loyal viewers for decades. As the week unfolds, Genoa City will witness the courage, resilience, and love that define Kane and Sharon's relationship. But one thing is certain: danger is never far away in this city, and every whisper of threat could be the beginning of a shocking twist. Fans are left with their hearts in their throats, eagerly anticipating the next chapter in a story where survival, love, and loyalty collide. In a city full of secrets, betrayals, and high-stakes drama, one thing is clear: Kane Ashby will stop at nothing to protect Sharon Newman, and Sharon's courage under fire is only beginning to shine. For viewers of The Young and the Restless, this is a storyline that will be remembered for years to come. A masterclass in suspense, emotion, and the relentless pursuit of love amidst dipped low over Genoa City, casting a golden haze over the towering skyline. Inside the grand living room of the Abbott estate, the air was thick with tension. Victoria Newman's hands trembled slightly as she clutched the letter that had arrived hours earlier. Her mother, Nikki, sat across from her, the lines of worry etched deeply on her face. "Vic, this isn't just some minor scandal," Nikki said, her voice steady but tinged with fear. "If this gets out, everything could unravel." Victoria's heart pounded. I know, Mom. But what choice do I have? I can't just stop him. She barely breathed the words, afraid that speaking them aloud might make them real. Outside, a soft knock echoed, and Kane Ashby entered, his face shadowed with guilt and longing. He paused when he saw Victoria. Their eyes locked, and for a moment, the world shrank to just the two of them. Vic, we need to talk, Kane said softly. His voice was calm, but his eyes betrayed the storm inside him. Victoria's lips trembled. We can't, Kane. If anyone finds out, she swallowed hard. My family would never forgive me. And you'd lose everything at Jabot. Kane stepped closer, ignoring the invisible line that separated them. I don't care about Jabot right now. I care about us. About what we have, even if it's forbidden. Forbidden. The word hung in the air like a thundercloud. Victoria wanted to argue, wanted to scream that this was reckless, that she had responsibilities, that her family depended on her. But the pull between them was magnetic, undeniable. Meanwhile, across town at the Chancellor Mansion, Lily Winters paced frantically, phone pressed to her ear. Phyllis, I don't know what to do. Lily's voice cracked. If Kane and Victoria are involved, it's going to blow up everything we've worked for. The company, the family, my brother, Devin, he can't even know. Not yet. Phyllis Summers, ever the voice of reason, though tempered with her own flair for drama, listened patiently. Lily, you have to calm down. Rushing in with accusations or threats will only make it worse. You need evidence. You need leverage. Lily's fists clenched. I don't have time for patience. If Kane goes all in with Vic, the Abbott empire could collapse, and so could my family. Back at the Abbott estate, the tension between Victoria and Kane escalated. Kane reached out, gently brushing a strand of hair from her face. Vic, I can't live like this, sneaking around, hiding everything. I'm done with hiding. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Kane, I love you. But love isn't enough. Not when it destroys everyone we care about. Not when my father. Jack, he'll never forgive you. Kane's jaw tightened. And if I told you that I don't care what Jack thinks, that I'd fight for us no matter what? Her heart soared and sank at the same time. They were teetering on the edge of a dangerous precipice, each drawn to the other like moths to a flame, knowing the fire would burn everything in its path. In another part of Genoa City, Billy Abbott was scheming. News of Kane and Victoria's closeness had reached him through one of his many sources. Sitting in his office at Jabot, Billy's lips curled into a sly smile. Oh, this is perfect, he murmured. If I play this right, I can finally get under Jack's skin, and maybe even take Jabot out from under Victoria's nose. Billy picked up his phone, dialing a number. Phyllis, it's me. I think we might have a way to turn Kane and Victoria's predicament to our advantage. Meanwhile, the personal stakes were escalating. Victoria's younger sister, Abby, had begun to suspect something was off. She had noticed the fleeting glances, the secretive smiles, the subtle tension whenever Kane was around. Victoria, you're acting weird. Abby confronted her one afternoon in the Newman garden. What's going on? Is it Kane? Victoria froze. She couldn't lie, not to Abby. But she also couldn't risk revealing the truth. Abby, it's complicated. There's nothing for you to worry about. Abby's brow furrowed. Vic, I know you. If there's something I need to know. Family comes first. The word stung. Family. That's what Victoria feared losing most. But as Kane appeared behind her, offering a reassuring smile, she realized that maybe, just maybe, love could coexist with family, if they were careful. As night fell over Genoa City, secrets hung like shadows in every corner. Victoria and Kane shared a brief, stolen kiss by the fountain in the Abbott estate garden, their hearts beating in unison, yet weighed down by the knowledge of what they risked. At the same time, across town, Lily and Phyllis strategized. We need a plan, Phyllis advised. We need to control the narrative before it controls us. Kane's reckless enough, he'll make mistakes, and we'll be ready to catch them. And in a quiet corner of the Newman estate, Nikki Newman sat alone, pondering the inevitable. Family, love, loyalty, betrayal. Everything she had built was teetering on the edge of chaos. She whispered into the empty room. God help us all. Love shouldn't have to hurt this much, but in this family, it always does. By the next morning, Genoa City was alive with whispers and warnings. Employees at Jabot exchanged knowing glances. Friends and rivals alike speculated, hearts racing as they sensed the storm brewing just beneath the surface. And amidst it all, Victoria and Kane clung to each other, knowing that every touch, every glance, could ignite a fire they might never escape. Forbidden romances and family worries. They had no choice but to navigate the treacherous waters, balancing passion and loyalty, desire and duty, knowing that a single misstep could shatter everything they loved. Yet even as the tension mounted and danger lurked around every corner, one thing was undeniable. Their love, however forbidden, burned brighter than any family feud, any corporate battle, any threat that Genoa City could throw their way. And so the stage was set. Secrets whispered behind closed doors, hearts racing with forbidden longing, families teetering on the brink of collapse, and a city watching with bated breath. Love and worry danced hand in hand, and only time would tell if it would be their salvation,
Genoa City
or
was
their buzzing with its usual tension, secrets, and drama. But one story stood out today: Danny Romalotti's growing concern for Phyllis Summers. The former teen heartthrob turned devoted friend and father figure had always tried to stay out of the chaos that seemed to surround the Newman and Abbott families. But now, Danny was finding himself pulled back into a storm he couldn't ignore. It all began earlier this week when Danny noticed a change in Phyllis. She had been distant at Newman Enterprises' charity gala, laughing at the right moments but her eyes betraying a deep unrest. Danny, whose instincts for reading people had only sharpened with age, immediately sensed that something was off. Phyllis had always been strong, confident, and at times ruthlessly strategic, but this was different. There was a vulnerability there, a quiet desperation that made Danny uneasy. He tried reaching out, casually at first. "Phyllis, you've been quiet tonight. Everything okay?" he asked during a brief moment at the bar, hoping she'd brush it off with one of her charming smiles. But Phyllis's smile didn't reach her eyes, and her usual witty comeback was missing. Instead, she laughed softly, almost bitterly, and excused herself. Danny's heart sank. The playful spark he remembered was flickering, and he knew it wasn't just a fleeting moment. Over the next few days, Danny's worry only grew. He started noticing small, unusual patterns. Phyllis staying late at work more often, leaving meetings abruptly, and sending cryptic messages that hinted at stress but offered no details. Her interactions with the Newmans, particularly with Nikki, were tense, and whispers of potential business betrayals and family disputes made Danny's concern even more pressing. It wasn't just the boardroom battles. Danny could see the toll it was taking on Phyllis personally. In a rare moment of courage, Danny decided he needed to confront her directly. He found her at Crimson Lights, her favorite spot for late-night coffee, staring into her cup as if searching for answers at the bottom. "Phyllis," he began gently, sitting across from her, "I can't stop thinking something's wrong. You don't have to go through this alone." Phyllis looked up, startled, as if Danny had seen something in her that no one else had. For a moment, she seemed torn between shutting him out and admitting the truth. Finally, she sighed, her defenses crumbling just enough to reveal a flicker of her pain. "It's complicated, Danny," she admitted quietly. "Everything feels like it's falling apart, the business, the family. I'm not sure I can handle it all." Danny leaned forward, his voice firm but reassuring. "Phyllis, you've handled more in your life than most people could ever imagine. You don't have to do it alone. Let me help, even if it's just to listen." There was a pause, and then something shifted in Phyllis. She realized that, for once, she didn't need to be the one carrying the weight of the world alone. Danny's genuine concern was a rare comfort, a reminder that not everyone in her life had ulterior motives. Meanwhile, in the background, Genoa City's usual cast of schemers and manipulators was buzzing. Sharon Newman, ever protective and suspicious of Phyllis's sudden vulnerability, began noticing Danny's increased attention toward her longtime rival. Though Sharon was skeptical, even she had to admit that Danny's intentions seemed sincere. Across town, Nikki Newman observed the subtle shift as well. She had always maintained a complicated relationship with Phyllis, fluctuating between friendship and rivalry. Seeing Danny so invested in Phyllis's well-being added another layer to her concerns. Could Danny's involvement help stabilize Phyllis, or would it further entangle her in the relentless web of Newman family drama? As Danny continued his quiet watch over Phyllis, he made small but significant gestures to support her. He would leave encouraging notes on her desk, call to check in after particularly long or stressful meetings, and even show up at key events to ensure she wasn't facing challenges alone. Each time, Phyllis's walls softened a little, and Danny felt a mix of relief and apprehension. Relief because she was opening up, and apprehension because he knew how quickly Genoa City could turn kindness into a liability. Things escalated when Phyllis received an anonymous tip about a potential betrayal within her team at Newman Enterprises. Danny was there when she got the news, and his protective instincts kicked in. "We'll figure this out together," he assured her, taking her hand briefly, a gesture of comfort and solidarity. Phyllis, feeling a rare moment of vulnerability, allowed herself to lean on him. Yet the shadow of drama loomed large. Victoria Newman was quick to notice Danny's closeness to Phyllis and grew suspicious. Could Danny be playing a larger role than anyone expected? And what about Nick? Phyllis's romantic history with him had always been complex and fiery. Danny's involvement, though purely protective in his eyes, threatened to stir old tensions and new conflicts. As the week drew on, Danny's worry reached a tipping point. He couldn't stand by while Phyllis carried the burdens alone. He confronted her again, this time more forcefully, at a quiet park overlooking the city. "Phyllis, I'm not going to let you face this on your own. Not now, not ever," he said, his voice unwavering. Phyllis, moved by his sincerity, finally admitted the truth. She was exhausted, emotionally and physically, from navigating the high-stakes battles at work and the endless family drama. She feared losing control, and more importantly, feared that those she trusted most would ultimately disappoint her. Danny listened without judgment, offering the rarest gift she'd received in years, reassurance. By the end of their conversation, a fragile but growing trust had formed. Danny didn't offer solutions he couldn't guarantee, nor did he pretend to have all the answers. He simply promised to stand by her, a steadfast ally in a city where alliances were fragile and hearts were often used as weapons. Genoa City watchers can expect more twists ahead. Danny's concern for Phyllis may evolve into a deeper partnership, not just as a friend, but as a stabilizing force in her tumultuous life. But in a city ruled by secrets, lies, and high-stakes family feuds, no good deed goes unchallenged. Will Danny's protective presence shield Phyllis from further chaos? Or will it make them both targets of the city's relentless machinations? One thing is clear, Danny Romalotti isn't about to let Phyllis Summers face her battles alone. And in a city where even the strongest can falter, that determination may just change the course of her life forever. Genoa City fans, buckle up. Danny's worry for Phyllis is only the beginning, and the drama is about to reach a fever pitch. Expect heart-stopping confrontations, surprising alliances, and the emotional vulnerability of two characters who have always played strong, strategic games finally revealing the hearts they've kept guarded for too long.